to a third and final map. I want to see an explosive third map that's just crazy back and forth. But either way, we don't know exactly what we're going to see here necessarily between these two teams because it has been, well, quite back and forth between the two, considering the scorelines we've had at halves. There's a 10-5 scoreline at the end of the first half for Imperial. Then they ended up losing 16-13, something I never really thought to happen. But now into the last map of the series, keep in mind there's only 4 teams in total within the South America Road to Rio qualifiers. So it's really hard to kind of get those points if you lose that first map, at least to get the top amount of points you possibly can.
And considering there's only 4 teams in this, 10k prize pool, it's not bad. It's not a huge amount of matches considering that you can take away a decent chunk of cash, especially with everything going on at the moment. I'm sure that either one of these teams would be very happy with the dosh, but nonetheless, it's going to be full Kevlar. Not something you see too often on the CT side, especially of Inferno. It's a map which is very utility-based. You're going to see investments into smokes the majority of the time, and, well, you can see it on the other side. 2 smokes, a Molotov, a flashbang, but that all seemed like a bit of a fake. They've held a third player over. I'm more interested where that Molotov goes. I would consider it going into pit. It seems like the best place to put it if you are on that T side. Clear out Deboni, who's going to have a bit of a tough time from that position. The only thing that worries me a little bit is the 2 players on this site both playing in pit. And if you look, Jason, it looks like it's about to be an Apps explosion, which could either go very, very well for the T's, or they might just get slaughtered.
Well, that's a lot of shots you're going to need to hit to somehow survive this with a 2-on-4. And, well, they're not really going to hit too many, it seems. Unfortunately, Deco does get both kills, one with the Molotov and obviously one with the Glock headshot. CT side not working out for him. Even they had, I guess, an okay setup to start things off with. And this is looking all the way of Isurus. DZT lost with K-Tex down to 104 HP combined. And DZT's going for the super long flank. Are they still going to try to go for this? They don't have a kit, so I'd imagine they're just trying to save these weapons.
Keep some Kevlar. Give you the cheap upgrade if you don't take any damage. Noxy he wants this kill. He's on the hunt. Doesn't quite realize his opponent is currently cowering in the spawn, so chances are the Kevlar will be kept. Very good pistol round coming out from the T side. I have to say, I always enjoy it when I see utility properly used. The Molotov into the pit, I'll be honest, kind of saw it coming, but it's very difficult to deal with. And unfortunately for the CT side, their setup was basically as bad as it could be for the execution that Isurus went for. You had 2 players in the pit. Granted, one was in the mini pit. But the second that first player gets Molotov'd out, he's screwed. And then the other has to try and kill 4 players coming out of apartments. I've seen it done, just not with a USP.
Yeah, not too often either, to be fair. Unless you're Brolin with the Krieg. Rip. Not going to happen anymore for him, unfortunately. We're seeing the bat there on the CT side to the scout. SMG, got the Deagles, even a 5.7 mixed, or 2.57 is actually mixed within there. And they have a lot of smoke, so they at least have the utility to stall for time. Isurus is starting to push relatively quickly. This utility might not even have a chance to be used, at least over towards this A side. You can see Devoni trying to throw it down. He's going to eventually be overrun, but he's not even overrun. He does get 1 kill. And ZQK will eliminate him, thinking he's an enemy. And he gets a second! He gets the headshot! Now it's all onto the 1 player inside of sight. Luckily for him, the wraparound comes in at 1962. And Showtime now down to a 1-on-1 with the AK and the head armor in hand. It's going to be still hard to pull this off. The bomb's still going to be up, I think, in towards balcony. And Reverse is actually just going for the flank.
Aim of ring around the Rosie. They're just wrapping around on each other. As if Showtime's predicted this. This man has, I don't even know, 30-30 vision. He knew that was coming from behind. I almost want to say as well that his teammate, it's almost like when your aim lock is too good and you you headshot your own teammate with a scout. It was a sick shot, but unfortunate. But Imperial, they win it back. They get off to that strong start. You always say that in the past, losing the pistol, that was the nightmare. Nowadays, winning the pistol, losing the second round, that's the nightmare. That's where you get the full reset. You get the $1,400 bonus, and no bomb plant means that basically the CT side got to take some of your guns, take some of your cash, and leave you with very little. In other words, they've robbed them. I think that's the best way to put it.
Oh, that's a little bit of a missed flashbang coming through out of Reversive. Link's just trying to stall them, keep that push at bay over towards the B site. This little flashbang out of the bunny does open things up for ZQK to get the first kill, and more importantly, just stay alive. They still have a player in towards CT spawn as well, and they're playing super passive towards B. The problem is the dinks come in, Reversive gets the kill. Trying to rescue the gun now. Spots out Showtime, is looking to not let this one go. Peeks him out, and again, Reversive gets another kill, and just like this, they got robbed, but they're gonna rob them back.
Thieving the thieves. It's not something I
Robin
expected
Hood,
to
right?
happen.
Stealing from the
I
rich.
guess. There was like a meme I saw recently of what if Robin Hood robbed someone that was rich, made them poor? Does he then have to give the money back?
No.
but he takes from the rich and gives to the poor. So if that guy's now poor, he's robbed him, and now he's poor too. You
Well,
cause him more
he's not
problems,
robbing
Robin
all
Hood.
of his money. I mean, that would just be a paradox then.
I don't know. I've seen in the films, it doesn't look like he's like, oh, I'll leave half of it, you know, and like, give him a little bit back. He just takes a lot.
I don't know. In the version I watched, Robin Hood Men in Tights, it was a little bit different. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
I've seen a lot of Robin Hood movies at this point. I like the kids one where he's a fox.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot about that one.
That is a great Robin Hood film. That is my childhood basically, which I feel sorry for the kids of today that they've had stuff like the Minions. Doesn't quite compete.
Whoa, okay, calm down. See, now Isurus on the T side trying to push in, actually going straight through the smoke. 1962 with the perfect timing. Talk about 30-30 vision for Showtime, but 1962's got the reads. Gets himself a quick triple, and Isurus again, they come out with the round. So luckily they didn't lose the follow-up round after winning, then robbing, then getting robbed, or whatever the hell that was. I'm confusing myself.
Robception.
Yeah, well, at least now we know Imperial's on a save. That's what we can say.
They just buy now. I'm gonna laugh so hard. They shouldn't. You're 100% right. But if they did, it would make me chuckle, because then it means that the Jason curse is in full effect. Not sure if it's carried over from last year. It's difficult to say. But here we go. Rush down mid. Only a few pistols. 1962. That is a nice little spray transfer. Drag to the left. Still 2 kills. That's quite surprising. 1 man, 1 USB. 2 players taken down. Echo. Dead, mate.
Okay, Tom, we talked about a grenade that sucks up the smoke and makes what sound was it again? Right. What if there was a grenade, like a concussion grenade, and it reversed your controls?
It just sounds like the worst. Because surely for some people, like, wasn't it Maniac played inverted?
I know Pronax did.
Okay, it might just make them play properly. Imagine how good he would have been if he did it correctly. He's playing in gamer mode. Challenge mode activate.
And like your left is right, and your right's left, and moving left is like makes you move right, and jumping makes you crouch.
Honestly, the way I
crouch
play,
makes you
I
jump.
might have been doing that the whole time.
Yeah, it might make some people better. I mean, it can't make some of us worse. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Banks might actually stop using the MP5
He might find out what a real weapon is.
because he's already backwards, so you know that would make him forwards.
Huh? What? Okay, well let's talk about the game, I guess, now, because I'm not even understanding what we're talking about anymore. I've lost myself in this conversation, which is a sad thing. We do have Isurus though, 4-1 lead. They're seeing the buyback out of Imperial. Again, utility's gonna be a little bit lacking. They've got 2 smokes left. One of them's gonna be on Showtime. He's kind of solo holding the B set. They've invested K-Tex over towards A, and they're gonna rotate him back towards B. Seems like the bomb's gonna be making its way over towards this A site, and the utility is ready to be thrown in. Just whether or not the CTs can kind of defend against this. Reversive leading the charge through. I think he might have spotted out the 1 player in pit. The Molotov's gonna actually push him out of position as well. And a nice little flashbang does halt the aggression.
Double ruse. They've baited off a rotation again. I'll be honest, I'm not even sure where they're going at this point. Showtime's still here though. They may not expect him on the cross, but they've done enough to kill him off. Patience. K-Tex will be there to at least down another. The CT side in with a good chance. They don't have any utility for this retake. They have to take raw battles, and 1962, normally good in those situations, will only get 1. Teammates have so much left to do. Echo, 1 versus 3. trying to spray it down. Almost gets 2 as Katex walks into his shot, but nonetheless, it is going to be the CT side getting around. And more importantly, that was one where they really didn't have much to play with at all. Like, sure, they had a kit. They did have rifles on every single player. But utility-wise, it was actually pretty poor. And I thought after the initial bait and switch, it looked like Isurus had it in the bag. But I think it was that one player of Katex just basically holding off on anybody flanking, being patient to wait for his teammates, that actually takes the round for them.
Honestly, like you said, I wasn't even sure where Isurus was even going in that one. Just like the loop-de-loop just completely even caught me off guard, and I can see the mini-map with all 10 players alive. But a really good job by actually just to kind of change things up again, not really committing towards one of these sites. They were able to obviously take the round in the end, but still, like, big mental game I think was won for Isurus. And it also puts a lot more pressure onto Katex if he's going to be the guy rotating quickly. This time it's going to be ZQK. With all 5 players at Banana.
Have a better hold at least. I always seem to prefer this more passive at the back of the site. Are they trying to boost him up? This is interesting. Did the Molotov reach into the back? I think they're screwed. Yeah, they're absolutely screwed. They've both been burnt out. 1962. Still headshots to both, of course. UK, he doesn't want to allow them to cross. If he'd hit anything with those last 2 bullets, I think he would have been cheering that, but it's just going to have to be a save. And yeah, I've not seen too often you go for a boost in that back corner. I think the only time I've ever seen it is if you have an AWPer and then a pistol player, you take a risk like that. But initially when they were being passive and had a lot of counter utility, I was like, okay, it's not a bad idea, but nice Molotov, of course, from Isurus to clear out that position, but yeah, a bit too much of a risk and quite a common molly spot, so I think they needed to at least have a counter smoke if they were going to try anything of the sort.
Well, the thing is, like, if you're not successful and that person boosted dies, like, they're going to know, okay, there's a second player there. And you have nowhere really to run, right? At least if you're at the other boost position, you can go left, you can go right, you can kind of change things up and keep them guessing. But there, they know exactly where you're going to be. So if that first person doesn't get, more than 1 or 2 kills, then it's just kind of like, all right, well, you're not going to win. Like, if you lose that player, you lost the round pretty much. Or at least got the bomb down. 5-2 though. Imperial looks like they're trying to force back into this. They do have SMG, 2 FAMAS or MI. God, that term just sounds so disgusting. An AK and an M4. And at least have the utility this time to use, but I think for me it's about how smart they're going to be. I think that was their own Molotov at the Bomb Banana, wasn't that? Did someone misthrow it? It had to have been.
Maybe. There's still some aggression coming out from the CT side. They're attempting to push at least. He's still going to get the opener. CT's actually pushing all the way down, and they're going to get a fight with 1962 and win it. However, they didn't expect Reversive to be so far into the corner. This is a good luck Deboni round, but he's got to try and find pretty much everybody. His teammate barely even rotating at this point. So far away, just going, yeah, mate, if you do it, good luck. Try and kill a board.
I believe in you.
He did actually manage to get a couple, and I like how Katex has now gone, all right, I'm on my way. It's like, yeah, you're on your way, are you? Are you in a 1v2 once I'm already dead? Cheers. Has
he wins
a chance,
these, Tom.
He has a chance. He needs to. He let his teammate die. This needs to be the redemption. Or the reversive, you could say.
He wins these, but I didn't necessarily mean this round.
Not this time. Next time. Maybe.
Well, the thing is, what's funny to me is I'm just imagining, like, Kamikaze sitting there with a big grin on his face, like, I told you, Tom. I told you who's going to win this one. I told you who's favored. It's not over just yet, as we have seen with how the series has gone, but Isurus up 6-2. I'm kind of hoping for a pause to come in for Imperial just to talk some things over, because you really can't allow too many rounds to get away from you on CT side of Inferno. And it seems like, they're getting not even like out, not even getting like anti-stratted or oh my god, Delboni. It's just kind of they're losing a lot of these gun battles. 1962 is just able to walk all over them, able to like penetrate the defense in a very peculiar way. He's up to 12 kills already, but he is gonna be the first to die in the round.
Definitely been performing. I think he's been the one sort of staple for them all the way through the series. I have to say I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. South American side of Road to Rio, of course. I think that's, for me, going to be one of the most exciting things. The opportunity to get more South American teams into that battle in Brazil. Brazilian teams in Brazil are probably going to have the greatest support you could ever receive, as fans are fantastic. Ground, though, it's not looking so good for the Brazilians. The T tries to find something, and the remaining players, I think they're just looking for whichever weapon was dropped initially, having a little look around, spotting the roofs. Instead, Showtime's going to be met with one of the AKs. Unfortunately, there's a T-side player holding it.
Yeah, I found one. Oh, where is it? Oh, he has it in his hands. Yeah.
You hear those bullets? Yeah, it's there.
Cheers. That's all I can hear his teammates say to him. Well, 7-2 now. They're starting to run away with this one. But again, I find it hard to say this is their map, right? This is the map they're gonna win 100%, considering like what we have had in the last game alone. 10-5 first half score. And then the team still ended up losing. That was going to be Imperial. Then think back to the first map. It was 7-0 lead for Imperial. And yet they still barely closed it out at 16-14. So this still has a lot of rounds to go. We're not done by any means of the word. We're going to see an AUG and AWP for Imperial ZQK, who's been so explosive with the AWP, especially on CT side when it came to train. He was a little bit quiet when it came to nuke, but he has an opportunity this time to potentially pull something off.
Those maps, though, again, where York becomes more situational. Links with fairly aggressive attempt to find his way through the smoke. Maybe not expecting anybody to still be watching that far up Banana, but they do have Molotovs. Could have thrown one deep, would have given him a much more likely chance of surviving that duel. Not having to take it in the first place. The T's are actually going to abandon Banana completely. Now, they've still got Showtime fairly close to the wall on B, which basically means he'll be able to hit any footsteps, any movement, anything they attempt. And a good counter incendiary is actually going to make things a bit awkward. In fact, the T's are just going to smoke straight through it. I think they realize they've thrown too much utility to not go for something here. Great entry from the IGL. Noxy doing work. They've got to be careful of the man in pit, but also Graveyard. A less conventional position. Boney finally going to be spotted. He springs his trap, but it's not much of a trap at all. Noxy just going ham in this round. 3 kills for him, 3 entries onto the A site. Still having 2 teammates to spare. The CTs, however, have come in quite quickly. But they don't have a kit, and they only have a singular smoke. I'm starting to wonder if this is even worth the effort.
Yeah, it looks like they're already going to be saving it here, too. I feel like they've been saving quite a few of these rounds. They've not been able to just halt them. Like, Noxy, the first entry on the archway was great. His second shot was phenomenal as well. Then the third into the graveyard. I mean, obviously the player wasn't looking at him, but he's just hitting some consistent shots. And for him to do that, you know, I don't mean this in any bad way, but we casted him back in the Pro League. I think that was season 9, if I'm not mistaken. He was definitely one of like the weaker players of the team. You know, running that in-game leader role and trying to frag was just not really working too well for him. But so far, he's gotten a quad kill in the last round. He's up to 11 kills. He's been performing quite well, I'd say.
Well, I feel like when again, going back to the quote that Kamikaze gave us going into the match, if you refer to someone as the captain and the brain, you're not really expecting them to do the heavy lifting. Like, that's not the connotation that you get from that. You're thinking, okay, he's going to be the one running the show. A lot of the time when we saw a nuke, he was making really risky plays to try and find out information. He'd try and get down the vents. He'd try and run into secret. He was doing things that were so risky that it normally resulted in his death, but he knew that. And this time, he's been killing it. His risky plays have all paid off. That's the problem. He's trying things, he's testing the water, and every time it's just the right temperature for him to push in.
Already has 2 kills in this round. The guns that Imperial did have are completely gone now. Look at all that utility laying on the ground as well from the fallen teammate. ZQK got a hell of shots here to maintain this one. That's a good one to start things off with. There's a flank coming out of Imperial from behind as well. DZT going to be the one to do that, but the pace has been picked up. Isurus looking to charge straight forward into the site. They still have not spun out the 2 players lurking here, though, as the Boney gives his position away. Now they know there's at least 2 going to be here as they try to wrap straight into ZQK, able to finally finish him off. And the flank being watched as well. DZT not going to have a chance. Now Del Boney, 1 versus 3. Gonna find it hard to see him win this with just a deagle. And it looks like we might see a 9th round now for Isurus.
This is looking very, very dominant. We've not even seen too much from the CT side in quite a while. Sure, some of these rounds have been like 3v2s or close, but most of the time it just seems in these clutch situations that have been pretty damn phenomenal. Deco is going to help out. They'll only at least get a singular kill, but other than that, it's just not looking great. 9-2. Noxy currently with 13,400, almost 15,000 for Reversive. Like, they got bank. They're buying pretty much till the end of this half. Even if they have to rebuy a couple of times from losses, they'll get the loss bonus up behind them, and by that point, it'll already be the end of the half. So, Imperial, it needs to be now. At 9-6, not irreversible. At the same time, anything more than this, and, well, it's a problem, but that's a very good start.
Well, yeah, double off setup here. If this doesn't work out for you, you're gonna put yourself really far in the hole in terms of, you know, money coming to the next round. And also, if this is the only way you can win these rounds, if you do win one of them and then lose the follow-up, again, you're gonna be hurting on money for that double op setup. With ZQK getting the first, I mean, he has been such an explosive player for them on the AWP. So they're able to finally get them that first kills. K-Tex as well now. We're gonna see him. Isurus know there's a double op setup. Showtime. Haven't spot him out. A big flashbang opens things up again. ZQK get on the board with a double flash coming through. And Showtime gets to sprayed onto the last player. So Imperial will finally take a round here after what seems like an eternity. It's still only 9-3. 3 in total for them. And as you said before, 6 wouldn't be bad, but they still have to get 3 more rounds in a row to allow that to happen.
I don't even know where that round came from. That was flawless. Like, as I said before that, they hadn't even had any rounds that were necessarily close, and then they just win one without losing a single player. Sure, it was a complete change in strategy, 2 AWPs thrown into the mix, but didn't expect their first round back on the board to be that dominant. Expecting it to be a bit more cagey, but it seemed like everything came up trumps in that round. The thing is that going to be something that continues? That's the main issue. Like, this can't be a one and done. This can't be a set straight back. Sure, they've made some money, which will mean that the force buys will likely come back in. But even if they don't save enough cash, so the AWPs might come into question once again. And even just having 2 AWPs on CT side Inferno can be a bit of a burden sometimes, especially on that B site. There's aggressive angles that work quite well. There's even certain passive angles that can work quite well. But seeing how Isurus have actually played with their utility, the Molotovs have been very effective. I think they're going to do quite well at making things awkward for the B-side AWPer.
I mean, it almost seems to me that it's kind of a last resort. Like, all right, let's just try double ops, right? Nothing else seems to be working. And it worked for them in this round. You can see Isurus trying to get aggressive here to kind of punish them for that. Doesn't work out too well as they have taken a hell of a lot more damage than their opponents. 1962 down to 51 health. Gonna go for the peak again, and K-Tex will blind. Doesn't seem to matter. He gets the kill. Look for the repeat, but Noxy again. In-game leader and fragger for his team. But they expect Showtime boost up towards the site, and they are going to sot him out, get the kill as well. They're going to be able to take this site, get the bomb down. And again, that double up setup, you have ZQK. As long as they keep smokes down, how is he going to be effective? How is he going to be a player when it comes to this retake?
I'm not even sure this is going to be possible already. It looks like the CTs are just going to back out of the round. And yeah, not exactly what I was saying, but very similar. Like a change of pace, an aggressive push towards the B site. One thing to note, okay, you are correct in the sense of, like, they took a lot more damage in the early portions of the round. But did you notice the fact that the CTs threw basically all of their utility? They had to, because they were rushing so far up. They just went, throw it in the air, throw all the nades. And then the T's just went, okay, now we execute. And there was nothing left. Like, those remaining 2 players had already just thrown everything at their opposition. And because of that, well, they lost the round. So yeah, Isurus make that one look fairly easy considering they lost the opening pick, and to trade that back so effectively, make things awkward. Yeah, 10 rounds. Very good T half. CT side can come back in with another purchase. They do still have enough to drop over the AWPs. Of course, saving those extra weapons helped them out significantly, but I think they need to take Banana. I think if you're playing this setup, you can't just allow Isurus, okay, they throw a few Molotovs, they throw a few nades, now we throw all of our nades back, and they get to keep Banana. That does not seem like a good trade whatsoever.
Maybe that would be the plan, but this seemed to be this round. They only have 2 players towards the banana, and I can see on the minimap they're already backing away as well.
Did deep smoke though?
Yeah, they did, but look at the T's. They just pushed straight through it. They didn't really seem to care. K-Tex, though, is up close to personal, gets the double. I'm not sure how the hell he hits that follow-up shot, but he sure as hell does. Link's finally able to respawn. That was only his 4th kill of the half. That's so weird to see that they're up 10-3. He only has 4 kills. Well, he's not going to get any more than that. He also drops the bomb, trying to push in solo.
Yeah.
Reversive and Deco not there to help protect him, and now Imperial, they have the bomb. They have the position. They're pushed up, and there should be no way Isurus win this.
I think that was a bit of an overcommit. And maybe not realizing he had the bomb. It's definitely possible. Like, it happens to the best of us, but that's one way to end the round. Like, the trade came in, 4v3. Okay, it's not amazing, but you've at least been able to split the defense. It's one of the more common things about Inferno that becomes quite awkward. The rotation, although it doesn't seem that long, it takes time. Especially with grenades down. The B site's one of them, so if they did group up, they could have tried to hit one of the sites and they would have had a chance at a 3v2. Instead, handing the bomb, that's it. That's round done. So, a mistake for Isurus. Obviously, a very good half overall. So, it's a sort of a blip on the radar, I would say. And now, they can come back in with a strong buy. It still worries me, though, that, like, basic K-Tex there, if he doesn't get 2 kills, that's it. That's that round done. It's the same scenario. Sure, it was successful. Sure, the CT side managed to win it. But that is far too much reliance on one player. Like, throwing a deep smoke and then just running away and leaving an AWPer in place, that's not a good way to control Banana, even if he is as talented as he is there.
Well, I want to say they assumed that the T's didn't push through the smoke, but there wasn't, like, nades to follow up with. There wasn't mollies to follow up with to, like, stop them from pushing. So I'm really confused why they would have expected, or maybe they knew they would already been pushed through and they wanted to take the fight anyways. But 10-4. Still the realm of possibility for Imperial here. So they can get this last round. I think they would still be looking all right come into the next half. Though they're going to really not have many rounds they can afford to lose. 2 players still pushed up towards Banana as they're going back to the bomb, which is sitting nice and pretty back at T-Stairs. Trying to push into this K-Tex again, trying to take the trade, or take the fight. Smoke comes down. He expects the player up close. He gets the headshot with the quick scope. DCT now there, and he's just gonna get the straight on through the smoke, and that will end things at 10-5.
Well, that is it for the first half. Of course, make sure you don't go anywhere, as we will be back in a short amount of time to bring you the second. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be going into the second half of our final map of the best of 3. It is 10-5 in favor of Isurus, and, well, they're going onto the CT side, so definitely in a good position here. Of course, Jason, I know you've been very happy to talk about the comeback, so do you think it's happening again?
You know what? In this series, I don't know. I very well could. It seems to be whenever we cast together, there's always comebacks. You could have the most lopsided first half score, and we'll see teams still be able to pull it back to at least like 13, 14 rounds. I don't want to count Imperial out just yet. They definitely have looked better. I'd say, no, yeah, I'd say they look better on their T side kind of overall than what we see out of Isurus, but they do have a kit this time. They do have a flashbang and a smoke as well for a potential retake, so it's pretty much coming down to Imperial with the amount of utility they have to open up one of these sites.
I want to see where the double nade is going. I said either I expected it to be top banana or into pit, but they're heading into B. So maybe they're going to try and dunk it over the top into first oranges, see if there's anybody there. But ultimately, I don't really know at this point. I'm somewhat intrigued. They're still standing. Maybe even they're going for an edgy after plant defusal. That is a fast rotation, though, from 1962. And they nade 2 out of CT. What? Okay. That's ridiculous. The nades just land in and kill off everyone. Deco does catch one as they look to fade away. Drop the bomb. He's actually bought himself some time. He's going to be running down. He hears the footsteps. It's going to be a smoke going down behind him. His opponent's weighing on the other side. He gets the kill as well. Deco on for the ace. A 1 versus 1. Coming in from behind. Doesn't know where he is, but look at the time. 18 seconds. Can he grab the bomb and go back to A? He's waiting on the other side of his own teammate's smoke. That's going to be the real burden. And in fact, he's going to go barreling in. But Deco's going the wrong way. He doesn't even realize it's actually going to be a B-site plant, but I think he's heard the footsteps. Only a few seconds left. The bomb should just about go down, and it will with a second to spare. It gives DZT a chance versus Deco. But he has been such a hero in this round, looking for the ace to give the 11th round onto Isurus. His opponent backs around the corner as he looks to come up right behind him. He's got it! Perfect! What a play from Deco! A great double nade from Imperial. An easy, or made it look easy, clutch from Deco. 5 kills. Just a sick play all round.
I think you got like everything you wanted in that round, didn't you? You got the nade stack that you talked about, albeit not really in the position you wanted. It gets a double kill. Thing is, that was really well done by Deco to get the ace in the clutch, but I almost feel like he almost didn't deserve it when they had the bomb down in banana and he started to rotate back towards A. Like, I guess he was trying to read into the guy picking the bomb up and going back towards the A site, but either way, you can't knock him for what the end results were.
That is the most nitpicky comment I think
I've
ever heard.
He had the bomb, right?
You know, he thought that it was A, so you know.
No. He saw the bomb down, so with like 20 seconds left, you could assume, okay, he has to kind of go towards B, but he won the round anyway, so I'm not going to judge him.
They could have grabbed him, run back. You never know. I thought that's what he was going to do, to be honest. It was just based on timing.
Unless these models got legs like me, legs for days, I don't know if they could run that quick.
It would have been close, that's for sure. But I can understand it, but clearly someone whispered in his ear the sweet nothings he needed to hear. Ah, this sounds like the beginning of a love song. It's not. People died
like
at the end.
50 Shades of Tom right now.
Well, that would be pasty white with a little bit of red mixed in, so not the most exciting.
At least there's not much hair.
That is true, or at least that's what you'd think. Nonetheless, it's going to be ZQK. 1v3. Got a scout. Now, this man he's been pretty good with the scout. The bomb is in CT, however, and this would, if anything, be more impressive if he somehow wins this clutch. In a pistol round, you get some RNG. Got a scout facing off against an AWP, not so much. Isurus, they convert the round. The T's forced by fails miserably. Fortunately, that leaves Imperial with very little left. 4 rounds needed for the Argentinians to take that first victory. Get themselves the points on the board. The T's can't even really invest into this round. A couple of pistols, maybe a deagle or so. They do have the loss bonus behind them. They're actually going to go for a couple of nades. I can respect that. They did so well with them previously. It must be heartbreaking to come up with that strategy. To be like, we're going to nade here. And then lose.
my gosh, the amount of damage being done already without seeing a single player. Reverse are just going to mow them down as they line up one by one to eventually meet their maker. Eventually able to close this one out as well. 13-5. Isurus getting really close to taking this first series as well and kind of redeeming themselves with considering how the first map did play out. By the way, still thinking back to that pistol round, how the hell does Deco push the smoke like that and still get the kill?
Magic.
That should not happen. You should not be allowed to push a smoke like that and not die against a clock when it's right in your face. And he sees you coming through first.
He did get the insta headshot. It was. Look, he nailed it. I'm not going to think about it anymore. I'm just going to enjoy the moment. Lots of nades and no, not much damage at least. It's going to be the flashbang assist. Obviously, waiting on the edge. Bear in mind, this man still has been playing very well. 18 and 10, whereas his counterpart on the other side of the smoke currently has 4 kills, so not ideal. And a much slower performance to what we've seen previously. Maybe kicking themselves a little bit for Nuke. And well, I mentioned to you in the break, it's only really been Isurus pulling off the comebacks. We don't yet know the mental fortitude of this Brazilian side. At the moment, they're looking wrecked. Most battles, but now we get another chance at a clutch. And we've had a fair few attempted, we've had a fair few succeed. And with the defense currently split, K has a chance.
All he has to do is win out on 1v1. And then he will have the bomb planted. He's going to expect 1962 sitting inside a graveyard. He's got so many angles to check when hitting over towards this A site. Luckily, he does have time to work with. But I don't imagine there's a world where he checks graveyard. Well, he kind of jumps up for it, but 1962 has his crosshair directly on where he's going to be. Isurus now up to 14 rounds. 2 away from closing out this first match. And just to remind you guys again, if you're unfamiliar with how this is working, there's only 4 teams in this qualifier. So you lose one, you significantly reduce your chance of being able to come through with the most points allotted within this qualifier. And Isurus on a pretty good start. Downside is for them, the last 5 matches, they have lost to Boom, they have lost to Red Candid, so they've lost to the other 2 teams already in this group before without actually playing this qualifier out. But at least they're on track to keep things consistent after beating Imperial the last time they met.
Again, go back to challenge onto Banana. It hasn't been particularly successful, but after the smoke goes down, the CTs actually rotate one of their players away, leaving, well, Noxy to hold on. Spray while blind is not going to connect onto anything. The rotation will take a while, but the flashbang leaves his opponent completely blind. A free kill. Knows that there's a couple around this corner. They're going to peek, actually 1 by 1. I think a little bit of miscommunication, but it is still a trade. Definitely been better if they could have timed that right, kept it even, but luckily UK still standing. However, the bomb, it's been dropped. That is not a good position to try and retrieve it. Okay, the jump spot not going to work out. And it's this man again. He's got 3 already. Deco to try and clutch it once again. His opponent with only 12 HP. With already 3 kills under his belt. It's not going to be enough. 15-5. It's close once again for Imperial, but unfortunately, they are just 1 round away from this series slipping through their fingers.
What's even more crazy to me is looking at Isurus, even though they have a 15-5 lead, Lynx is still only on 7 kills. Like that's what kind of surprised me, is that they're able to have this kind of scoreline with him having so little kills. But I guess it's really come to show how well Noxy's been playing. 21 kills and the in-game leader. Deco up to 19. Reverse, I believe I saw for a second there, was on 16. So some real standout players. 1962 has been kind of consistent over the course of this series, as we mentioned before. Especially thinking back to Train, but look at this, the pace has been picked up out of Imperial. These the teachers run straight into Lynx, picks up the AWP for his troubles. Man advantage early on to Imperial, but they've not really penetrated the A site just yet. The rotations even coming in out of Isurus as they're flanking from Banana. 1962. Well, maybe we should get another sign saying short is his. He gets 2 quick kills. And now it's going to be a 4-on-3. Oh my god.
Okay.
That was dirty.
He's going to clean up 3. Not bad at all. The trades failed from Isurus. And, well, considering how close these last few rounds have been, how many in a row even is it? It's been 5 in a row, and Isurus have no cash after 1 loss. It does sort of tell a story that Oh, with 1 player alive, 2 player alive, the couple of rounds that have just been played, but Imperial, they've given themselves a lifeline. It is getting to the point, I wonder if 1962 should just wear the sign. It'd probably save us a lot of time. Like, you walk around the corner and it just says on his chest, "You shouldn't be here."
I like it. 19, or, well, it's not gonna have a chance to do much here as I see the B side completely taken up against the pistols. And yeah, well, that was a clean round. 7 HP for DZT and Showtime, but 7 HP is enough to survive. As you see Imperial surviving this match so far. Still have a lot of rounds to go, though. 8 straight they're gonna need to tie things up. And we're starting to see the buyout come in out of Isurus already. AWP for Lynx. Actually, they're forcing up here. I mean, they could have just saved and then went with like the full buy in the round after, but they're just going for it. They're feeling confident.
Oh, there's a thin line between confidence and overconfidence. So we'll see which it is. Potential for Isurus to just close this out and walk away happy, and also the chance that maybe they give a little bit too much over to Imperial and they start to grind rounds out. Now, they got 7 at the beginning of Train. Strong start on their T side. They need 8 here. It's not out of the reality of this match. It's not impossible. Nades being expended by the CT side, but they really don't have any left. They're down to 2 flashbangs, and the T's have already taken a lot of mid control. Gotta be careful from the apps, but this time as 1962 fades out of the smoke, it is going to be an easy kill for the T's. Interestingly, K-Tech's actually going to re-smoke onto Arch side, so they're actually going to start to aggress. I think they've realized that they're going to need to do something in this round if they're going to stand a chance. The AWP peaks and is lost. Spam coming through. Deco a little bit confused, but he's going to get a couple of free kills, giving his teammates a chance. But just look at the weaponry. It's definitely not ideal. Reversive is completely blind. And, well, Noxy this time too far away. Only a kit. No kit, I should say. And, okay. Just... that is ballsy. I guess he wanted to throw it away so it didn't make a sound, but just to walk in with his USP, just like, I don't want to make any noise here.
They should might be able to punish them here. I mean, the thing is, they have Showtime pushed him towards Banana. I don't think they're necessarily going to expect him to be coming here. They think he's going to be saving. He might be able to get a couple of kills off of this. Going to be coming around. Takes down 1. Well, will eventually fall, unfortunately, but gets a little bit of damage dealt in the meantime. Isurus now, well, again, they really can't afford to buy up here. I think they're just going to have to save this one and then go for the full buy instead of the choppy buy with the AWP and the SMGs they had.
I'd like to see them go for the mid-banana push. Just invest into, well, flashbang, HEs maybe, and just try and do some damage. They can take a gun away. Also, it's just one of those rounds where you put it in every once in a while just to almost keep your opponents on edge. Just like, okay, could they do that in an actual round? Nade. Go through. Bit of early damage at least, but the USPs aren't really going to be netting too much more. The pressure's going to be coming into Showtime. They are going to trade eventually, although not really going to be much more than that. Just 1 player left, 1962. Still hits the... he's actually got a grenade. It's going to dunk right onto one of the players, but unfortunately not one that's tagged. Oh, this is getting out of control. How is a man with a P250 and 36 HP taking 2 players down? Come on, Imperial. That is not acceptable.
Well, it's not like Isurus is going to win this round either way, though. But yeah, I think we've seen a couple of those plays happen. Thinking back to the pistol round in the second half. But, I mean, that should be the op saved at least. I think Link's going to be happy about that one. Again, the money should be there for them to fully buy up into the round. But, I mean, Imperial giving them a run for their money. They've been on 15 for a couple of rounds now. Again, the ace in the pistol round. You would assume the morale of Imperial had to have been at an all-time low. And yeah, they're still living to fight another day.
The thing is, though, these rounds are still, like, making me uncomfortable. Like, even though that there was nothing invested, like, 1962 invested $300 there. He gets $900 just off the kills he got. And that's not even including the 4750 he just saved off the back of an AWP. So, yeah, that shouldn't happen. They shouldn't be able to get away with that much. I'm sure they're going to be breathing a sigh of relief that he didn't try to challenge them there. Although, he definitely made the right decision saving his gun. But luckily, the T side do actually have plenty of cash. Counter Molotov just to make sure nobody's going to be able to aggress. Initial 3 players just to try and set up some early utility on that B site. Try and give control over to Reversive and Noxe to try and hold it. But ultimately, the majority of the defense is going to sit on this A site, as it is commonly.
Well, with leaving B kind of down to 1 player, they might be walking into a trap. And we have seen some reversals before. They still have Showtime back down towards T stairs to watch any sort of push coming in from Banana anyways. They'll have to go, and they're definitely taking their time. They're all grouped up in middle. Just hoping that, you know, Isurus just peek them. And yeah, so gonna be holding strong. I do worry though for the solo player towards B. With them just running straight up and at it. He needs some help and he needs it now. The utility's gonna need to come in to stall. 40 seconds left, and it looks like Imperial is gonna barrel into this B site.
Ori is still the time though. 30 seconds. Luckily, the utility is gone for the remaining players, but Noxe does have a couple of flashbangs. Well-timed, could help him out, and it does slow down the push at least a little bit. In fact, Reversive comes straight through. Noxe hiding at the back. He's just trying to hold on as long as possible, and the flashbang is perfect. He gets another, still surviving at the back. There's only 12 seconds left, but finally, they get rid of him. He's gone. They can breathe a sigh of relief, at least for a second, but that second is swift. As we see Isurus close out this matchup. They are going to take themselves a series, of course. That is only our first best of 3 for tonight. We do have a fantastic one